Okay, today I wanted to work on just showing one of my pinch bowls. They can be adjusted to any size. This is about 450 grams and it'll be about tea-bowl size. If I'm making smaller cups, like little teacups or little sake cups, I'll go from like 100 to 150 grams about. Anyway, I just want to show you this really quick. It's super simple and super quick for hand building. And you don't really need any special tools. Having a wooden rib of some sort to help form the bottom really helps. Just make sure it's centered on the wheel like this. I just kind of squeezed it down so that it would stick. I'm going to start going in with my thumb. You don't have to go in strong, just go in little by little, real evenly all around. Make sure you do a full circle, a full revolution for each process that you're doing. I'm leaving about a centimeter to centimeter and a half of clay at the bottom so that I'll have room to trim the foot later. And actually, I already took the video for those on how I trim these, so I'll post those sort of at the end of this video so you can kind of see how that's done. And I'm just working the wall up here by pinching. Okay, leave a little bit of a fat lip at the top. And just the same as the pots that are thrown on the wheel, you want to have a compressed, stable lip on that pot. That'll hold the whole thing together for you. So I'm going to compress this lip, hopefully without screwing up. All right. All right, the lip's compressed now. Now I'm going to go in and compress the bottom. I'll give it a little bit of a wet here. And I'm going to go in with, this is a flat bottomed rib, and I'm compressing flat down, and then I'm going to slowly bring it out because I'm making a basic cylinder shape here. And then once the bottom's out a bit, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the side. Now I'm not really raising the side, I'm just sort of pushing it out where I want it to be. I basically want a cylinder that's just as high as it is wide, or maybe just slightly wider than it is high, just slightly. Just kind of get rid of the most blatant of the finger marks, because with the glaze that I'm putting on here, I want a more smooth surface so that the glaze doesn't run in sort of odd streams. And the leftover fingerprints will actually kind of do that. Alright, so and now I'm going to go back at the bottom. I'm going to compress that again and take it towards the center. That leaves a little spiral while compressing the bottom. Okay, so the bottom's done. Now I'm going to come back up to the lip. The lip is not formed, so the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to form the lip. And since the wall's all thinned out, you can't get really aggressive at this point. You want to make sure you've got enough water to lubricate it. And you want to go in, depending on the type of lip that you want to make. I like to do a bit of a tapered lip here. So I want the lip to look fat at the top to give the piece a little bit of weight, but I want it thin as well so that it's easy to drink from. All right, and I'm gonna now work on the profile just a little bit. I like to give a little bit of roundness finally to that. And I changed my mind. I said I wasn't going to touch the middle anymore, but I really like to get rid of some of that texture on the inside of the wall. So I'm just going to go real quick and I'm going to raise that up and smooth that out a bit. Okay, now that's rounded it a tad, which is fine. I'm going to go back in because I kind of messed up my foot, not my foot, the interior mikomi. All right, there, that's sort of where I want it. One more time, give that a little roundness. Okay, there, I think we finally got it tuned up. This ought to allow for a nice bit of roundness when you hold it in your hands. The appearance of a heavier lip than, and it appears heavier than the cup actually is, and then it tapers to a nice drinkable lip there. That we'll call done. And then I just cut it off here, like that, and it's done.
Alright, so you may have noticed that when I finish with that cup, it doesn't look like much. There's not much shape to it or anything like that. You really get the shape when you actually do the trimming. And so that's what I'm going through here. So first I used the stick and I got a general center on the pot, and I'm going around, and this will be the main profile of the foot. The trick here is not to go through or make that hip section too thin so that the cup sags. That's why you need to leave clay at the bottom when you're pinching the ball up. And this is just to sort of remove the crumbs that are left over after that first sweep. You don't have to cut this much off, or you could just tamp it down with your fingers. It's all whatever your preference is. Okay, now I'm going to add this line here in the bottom half of the wall. This serves two purposes. If you left a little too much thickness at the bottom, you can use this to thin that out and reduce the weight of the cup. It also gives a line that adds some visual impact to the bottom of the cup. The texture helps the glaze slow down as it's flowing if you've got a flowy glaze. And then this last bit really will help stop the glaze from running and adds a bit more interest to the bottom of the cup. So most of this decorative stuff has a practical purpose as well. I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. And then make sure to just tamp it down softly. That will save you all kinds of grinding later if you don't leave any sharp edges when it's wet like this. And the last bit is to scoop out the interior of the foot in one sweep. If you can do it, it takes a little practice, but it's certainly not impossible. And it leaves you with the best texture on the bottom, I found. And that is it. And as the last bit, at least on mine, this is where I'll sign some of them. Sometimes I'll sign on the inside of the foot, sometimes on the outside. And that's it. All right, thanks for watching today.